If you've been scrolling through endless options for a gear set that can handle both your podcast audio and your live stream video, and you still aren't sure which one actually makes sense, this review should clear that up. I've spent the last few weeks setting up a modest home studio, testing a handful of all-in-one consoles, and reading through what creators are saying about the RODECaster videos. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The big question people keep asking is, will this thing really let me run a decent-looking video stream and a clean-sounding podcast without having to buy a separate mixer, a video switcher, and a bunch of adapters? First, let's talk about the day-to-day workflow you'd actually be doing with the RODECaster videos. The unit is essentially a small rack that houses a full-featured audio mixer and a 4-input video switcher. In practice, that means you can hook up 2 cameras, a computer screen capture, and a game console, all feeding into the same device, while simultaneously running 2 XLR microphones through Rode's Revolution preamps. I set it up with 2 DSLR cameras for a face-to-face interview, a laptop playing a slide deck, and the included podcast mic packs for my co-host and me. Once everything was plugged in, the console's LCD displayed each video source as a thumbnail, and I could switch between them with a single press. The audio side automatically routed the mic signals to the main mix, applied a light compressor, and sent the combined feed straight to the USB output. All of that happened without me having to open a separate software mixer or toggle between multiple apps. Now, why does that matter? For creators who are juggling a video interview and a podcast in the same session, the biggest pain point is latency and sync. When you use separate mixers and switchers, you often end up with a lag of a few frames between the picture and the sound, which looks unprofessional to viewers. The RODECaster videos keeps everything inside one clock, so the audio and video stay locked together. In my tests, the sync held steady even when I jumped between a camera showing a full-frame shot and another that was just a picture-in-picture overlay of a screen share. That reliability is the real value you're buying, not just the headline for 1080p 60 inputs. Who should buy this? If you're a solo creator or a small team that regularly produces interview-style videos, podcast episodes with video, or live streams that need a quick on-the-fly switch between a camera and a screen share, the RODECaster videos is a solid match. The included mic packs are calibrated for speech, so you get a clean vocal sound right out of the box without having to spend hours dialing in gain and EQ. It also shines for educators who record lecture videos with a webcam and a document camera, because you can toggle between the 2 sources while keeping the instructor's mic level consistent. On the flip side, if your primary focus is high-end video production, think multi-camera cinematic shoots with 4K footage, or a setup where you need advanced color grading and frame rate control, this console will feel limiting. The 4 inputs cap at 1080p 60, and there's no support for 4K or HDR. Likewise, if you already own a dedicated audio mixing console that you love, you'll probably find the built-in audio processing a bit redundant. The RODECaster videos also doesn't have dedicated multi-track recording, so you can't pull apart each mic or camera feed after the fact. It writes a single mixed file. That's fine for live streams, but can be a drawback if you intend to do heavy post-production. Let's get into the practical strengths that matter after you open the box. First, the integration of the Revolution preamps gives you a lot of headroom before the signal starts to clip. In real-world use, like a heated debate segment where people raise their voices, the mics handled the peaks without distortion, something I've seen many budget mixers struggle with. Second, the USB streaming output works natively with OBS, Streamlabs, and even directly into platforms like Twitch or YouTube when you enable the virtual webcam mode. That means you can go live with a single cable to your computer, and you won't need a separate capture card. Third, the console's layout is intuitive. The video source buttons sit right above the audio fader, so you can glance down and switch both with one hand. It saves you from juggling 2 separate control surfaces, which can be a real time saver during a live broadcast. On the weakness side, the console size is compact, but that also means the rear panel is a bit cramped. The 4 HDMI inputs share a common power rail, and if you plug in a high-draw camera while also powering the 2 mic packs, you might notice the console's fan kicking in louder than expected. It's not a failure, but it's a trade-off you'll hear in a quiet recording environment. Another practical issue is the lack of onboard storage. All recordings have to be captured on your computer, so you need a reliable drive with enough space for